Hi, it's Alpita the Mystical Mama, and welcome to Chores and Children Thursday. So Thursdays, we're going to be talking about housework, we're going to be talking about homeschooling, and everything that has to do with running a household and taking care of children. I just want to remind you that these are things that I do or that my clients do. As a life coach and business consultant, I help women to balance their home life and their work life and create faster paths to cash. I help them get organized in their home life and in their personal life so that their business can run smoother. So I'm going to share a lot of tips and techniques. I want you to listen to everything I say with an open mind, with a little bit of curiosity, maybe with a little bit of skepticism, and just be like, oh, that sounds interesting. I'm going to try that. Or, you know what? That doesn't work for me. And that's okay. Okay. There is no tried and true way to handle housework and children. Okay. Every child is different and every parent is different. And also every person is different in how they handle chores. But I'm sharing some of my favorite tips on these Thursday videos because they really help. They've helped my life. So today, what I really want to focus on is timing, patterns and rhythms in timing, okay? So one of the most important things is to work with your energy patterns, okay? So your energy throughout the day. So for me, usually what I do is I get up in the morning, I will, if there's laundry to do, I will load the washing machine. Although sometimes I will load it at night and set the delay wash. My washing machine happens to have a delay wash. And what I'll do is before I hop in the shower, at night, I will get it all ready and I will set the delay wash, and it will start about an hour before I'm ready to get up, because that will wake me up and I can meditate. Okay, I can do my yoga, I can read. It becomes a alarm. Okay, and I don't run laundry every single day, so it varies, right? So the next thing that I do is, of course, go to the bathroom and then go make my coffee. And I love to do dishes first thing in the morning. I like to get the sink cleared out from the after dinner dishes and the breakfast dishes. Okay, and usually we run dishes about twice a day. So we run a morning load and we run an evening load. And so the routine here is that when my boys wake up, and my boys are 7 and 9, they have 2 chores that they have to do every single morning. And actually they do it right before breakfast and they do it right before dinner. So they have to feed the cats and they have to unload the dishwasher. And obviously if there's there wasn't a lot of dishes yesterday, so the dishwasher hasn't been run. They don't need to do that, but the cats need to be fed every morning. And the reason we do it before meal times is because I've found that if I set them to go do that, one, they're not up my butt while I'm making breakfast. And 2, after breakfast, they can go and we either homeschool if it's a weekday, or they can go play on the Xbox or play with each other if it's a weekend. So it's a twofer. It's two birds with one stone, right? It keeps them occupied while I make breakfast, and also it ensures that it gets it done, because they get it done. Because if I let them do it afterwards, there's always some distraction, some excuse, and it doesn't get done. Okay. Some mornings, if we're running really behind and I have clients in the afternoon and I have to do homeschool at a certain time, although we do usually have a schedule, but it's very flexible. It's not like, oh my God, it's 10 o'clock, sit down. Sometimes we start a little early, sometimes we start a little later, but I like to stay on schedule because it kind of, when one thing falls behind, then everything falls behind. So that's what we do with morning. And then right before dinner, as I am making dinner, they are again feeding the cats and unloading the dishwasher if it needs to be done. Again, same reason. They get it done and get it out of the way, and also it gives them something to do while I do dinner. So really thinking about how are your children motivated? How are you motivated? What are the times of days that you feel, the time of day that you feel most energetic to do your chores. Like me, when I clean the bathroom, I like to do it right before I do my shower. And here's the thing with the bathroom. I do not clean the bathroom top to bottom, once a week or every other week or whatever. As I have 3 males in my house, I am constantly wiping something down. If the top of the tank or the lid is dusty because we have forced air, I just grab a baby wipe from the back of the toilet and I just wipe it down. It's just really dust. It's not anything else. The toilet bowl, when it kind of gets a little, nasty, I will clean it. The toilet seat, it pretty much gets cleaned every day, if not every other day. So I don't have a set schedule for it. And then usually, every so often, and every so often can mean, a week from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, I will, do the whole thing top to bottom. Same thing with the shower. I do the shower when I'm in the shower. I just strip, get in there, and I scrub it. I, wet it down. We have one of those shower heads that has the cord on it. I, wet it down. I got my sponge and I use baking soda, and I use dish soap, because they're the most effective. And I just scrub it down. I hose it down. It literally takes me 5 minutes to do it. And then I take my shower, right? And then in the next load, I will wash the shower curtain and the bath mat. So don't overthink it. I remember as a kid, my mother was a Greek immigrant. She was one of 10 children. I'm sure my grandmother kept a really strict house. So, every Saturday we literally clean the house top to bottom. My job was to do the bathrooms and to dust and to vacuum. And my mom usually would do the kitchen, and she would cook and things like that. And we'd run laundry. I don't like doing that. I don't like spending my whole day cleaning. So I spread my chores throughout the day. I do things as they go. Like, what was it, about the beginning of December? My kids, we made snowflakes, just cut them out of paper, and they wanted to put them on the windows. So I was like, oh, this is a great idea. Let's wipe down all the windows. So I went around and I cleaned all the Windex with rubbing alcohol and paper towels. And they hadn't been done probably since the summer. Usually when we put in the ACs, we'll do them. It's not something that I do all the time. If I notice something on the window, I will do it. Things like kitchen counters get done multiple times a day. Doorknobs and things like that get done much more frequently. I have a no shoe policy in my home. All the shoes get taken off I have a mat at the front door and the back door. Everybody removes their shoes, including guests, remove their shoes at the front door. So I don't need to mop all the time. Sweeping is another story. We have cats and we have kids, so sweeping usually gets done. The whole place, like from one end to the other, doesn't always get done. Like usually every once a week or every other week. But usually the kitchen gets swept a lot, or the bathroom will get swept from the cat litter and things like that. So like little area things. And then I have one of those, it's kind of like a Swiffer, but it's not. It's trying to think I think it's from O Cedar, the one that I have now. You actually fill it up with your own solution, and it has the microfiber pads. And what I did 2 years ago was I bought 6 microfiber pads for the mop, and they just Velcro on from Amazon. And so I'm able to change them off because I do one in each bathroom. I'll do, one from my bedroom to part of the kitchen. The kitchen usually gets at least 1 or 2, and then the hallway down to the other bathroom gets 1. So usually I will use all 6 pads because you want to change them often, right? And sometimes if the floor is not that dirty or dusty, I don't even sweep. I just will mop, and you just pull the trigger up on the handle and it sprays out whatever solution you decide to use, and then you just wipe it with the microfiber cloth that's on the bottom of it, right? And then usually what I do, because again we have cats and kids, I shake it out in the trash and then put it right into the washing machine. What else? Really the biggest thing is finding ways to do things quick and easy, like that mop. It's quick, like literally to get from, and we live in a mobile home, so we're not in a big space, to get from one end to the other and get it all done. I'm talking less than 10 minutes. And that, the only reason it even takes that long is because I have to move all the chairs from the kitchen table and do underneath the kitchen table, because my son's in mischief will, all sorts of random stuff ends up there, and of course from eating crumbs and things like that. So literally it takes less than 10 minutes. And usually what I do is the pants that I wear all the time have pockets, so I stuff the microfiber cloths in my pocket, and then what I'll do is I'll leave the old ones, because I go from one end to the other, and then when I'm done I come back and put them in the wash machine. I just leave them in the hall, like, here and there, and then as I'm coming back I will pick them up and bring them all to the trash can, shake them out, and then put them in the wash machine. So again, make your life easy. But one of the biggest things, again, is following, looking at your cycle, your menstrual cycle. Like, there's certain times of the month that we all get, like for me, as I'm in perimenopause, I find that for me, it's like right before the full moon is when I'm just like, I'm unsubscribing to tons of things. I'm throwing things out. I get into this cleaning kick, like usually, 5-6 days before the full moon. And I take advantage of that. I do most of my deep cleaning during those days. I will clean the top of the refrigerator. I'll clean out the freezer. I will clean the inside. Like, I take advantage of that time because I know that's when I'm in the mood to clean. Okay, I don't force myself to clean unless it's like something smelled or fell on the floor, or I have to wipe down the kitchen table. A lot of things, there is no actual schedule. I used to have a schedule, and I used to put reminders on my phone, and it just didn't get done. Now it's more of like, okay, the cat bowl area is getting a little grungy because the cats eat their wet food, and like it gets on the edges of we have like those dog bowl stands where it's like a wooden stand with the bowls, because then they don't knock them over, because I used to just bat the freaking bowls everywhere. Now they don't do that. Excuse me. There are certain things that are on a schedule. We have a cat fountain that needs to be taken care of every 2 weeks. The filters need to be changed, so that has a reminder on my phone. I'm trying to think what else. A lot of things are by sight and by touch, okay? Except for the dishes and the laundry, and feeding the cats. Those, there is an actual rhythm to them. Or the laundry, not so much, because it's more of like, when is the hamper full, or when is the washing machine full? We do once a week I pull all the sheets and all the bedding, and I have cloth covers on top of my kitchen chairs. On my kitchen chairs, those get changed. I'll pull all the washcloths and all the towels and the shower curtain and the bath mat, all get done once a week, usually on a Saturday or Sunday. And that day I will be running probably 2 or 3 loads to get everything clean, although we do have a second set of sheets for each bed. So they'll strip the bed, the boys strip their own bed, and then they'll make their bed, and then I always wash those sheets, because you never know. Actually, if you go by Martha Stewart's rule, you should have 3. You should have 1 on the bed, 1 in the hamper, and 1 in the closet. And I do believe that's a great strategy, because we've had times where we just stripped the bed and something spilled and it needed to be taken up. But here's the thing, we don't really use top sheets. Sometimes in the summertime we'll use them, because I'm a kind of person who likes to have something on top of them in the summer, but obviously you're not going to put a comforter or blanket. So worst case scenario, I just use one of those top sheets, and I do hospital corners, go look it up, and do the laundry, and then replace it, just to get us by for that hour or 2 hours that it takes to wash and dry. So don't ever really panic about it. It's not a big deal. You can get by with just a top sheet on the bottom, and you can even take another top sheet and cover your pillowcases. All my pillows have dust mite covers on them, So I don't really worry about it if they have to sleep on the dust mite covers, because whatever, something happened, it's not a big deal. I recommend dust mite covers on all your pillows and your mattress. Make sure you have a waterproof cover on your mattress. That has saved us so many times when the kids were little and they'd have an accident in the bed or somebody spilling coffee or something. It has made a huge difference. They don't always like prevent something from getting on your mattress completely, but it's definitely so much better than having nothing. Just trying to think of what else I'd like to share with you. I was working with a client last year, and she was complaining how she had a schedule and she had a binder and she had routines, but one of the things that she wasn't really considering is how each child's personality is, what motivates them, when are they most active, when are they most wanting to help out and do things, because children do naturally want to help out. Okay, especially when you start them young. Like all my children started helping out in some way, shape, or form at the age of 2. Usually, I think the first thing that they did was put napkins on the kitchen table. Very, very easy to do. Here's a napkin, just put it at everybody's spot. And they want to help. And so then you progress from there. So then they're setting the table. Then they're helping unload the dishwasher. They're not unloading anything that they cannot handle. So, you know your child best. But really working with where is the intersection, the Venn diagram of, when you want it done and when they want it done, how you want it done and how they like to do things, and finding that happy medium of where you can get things done. My boys, 6 out of 7 days, and sometimes it's all 7 days, like all I have to say is chores and things get done. Sometimes they'll be like, just a minute, mom, because they're in the bathroom, or like in the afternoon, they're finishing up a game on the Xbox, but they're really good about stuff like that. But it's taken time. That's one of the things that you're going to have to repeat yourself. The cats need to be fed. The dishes need to be done. Please put your laundry away. Please do this. Please set the table. It is repetition. And you get to the point where there are mornings that they'll get up before me, which is usually rare. It's usually on the weekend. And they'll be, mom, they'll come in and they'll be like, mom, can you make breakfast? The cats are done and the dishes are done. And I'm like, oh, you guys are so amazing. And they'll come cuddle with me. Usually the price of breakfast on the weekends is a cuddle and a kiss and a hug. And then we'll get up and we'll have breakfast. But it really, it's not getting angry, it's not getting upset, it's not getting frustrated with your kids. It's just knowing that habits take time. We know ourselves that sometimes it, like just doing these videos, it's becoming a habit every single day. What is the topic that I'm talking about? Getting on live on YouTube, or right now I'm actually recording this on my phone, and just making it a habit every single day. Everything takes time and it takes repetition. Our children are no different. And just being patient with them. If they're doing something and you don't like the way that they do it, not, being mindful that you're not criticizing. You're saying, just the other day, I went in, it was actually last night, I went into the silverware drawer and the forks were in the wrong spot. Like the big ones were in the little spot, the little ones were in the big spot, and some of them were dirty. And actually, because I was trying to move them back and forth, I don't know what had touched what, and so all the forks went into the sink. And this morning I said to my youngest, who's 7, I said, Alex, just please be careful and check all the silverware before you put them in there, because there were some dirty ones in there. That's all there is to it. There's no yelling, there's no degrading, there's no criticizing. It's just, can you please be more mindful? Can you just be more careful when you're putting them away, right? You want to talk to your children as you'd want somebody to talk to you. And if you weren't raised that way, like I wasn't raised that way, sometimes it was, what the fuck's wrong with you or whatever. Unless we are conscious and deliberate, we do follow in our parents' footsteps. So just being mindful of that. Like I remember one time, just one time, my husband said to his daughter, you know, stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. And I cringed, and I could see after it came out of his mouth, you could tell he was just like, oh my God, I can't just believe I said that. Okay. It happens. Okay. You just kind of apologize and just be conscious to never say it again. Again, if we're not conscious about these things, if we don't make conscious decisions, we're going to follow in those footsteps. Like, I remember when I first got married and, you know, I had my own chores and my own home to clean, right? It was just like trying to find that rhythm and being conscious that I did not want to spend all day Saturday cleaning my house like I did as a child, and being like, okay, what am I going to do? And my husband at the time and I created our own schedule. It's like, okay, this is going to get done on this night, this is going to get done on that night, and all that. And then just modifying and just being like, okay, you know, that didn't work, or I didn't like that, or that wasn't sustainable for me. I can't be consistent that way. Like with the laundry, I cannot tell you how, I'm actually going to do a whole separate episode about the laundry. I've tried so many different ways to do laundry, and this is the way that works for me. You know, 9 times out of 10, it gets loaded. I notice that the hamper's full, and as I am, you know, getting ready to hop into the shower, I would load up the washing machine. I will put in the soap, and I will set the delay start. I'll be like, okay, it's whatever, 8 o'clock at night. I want it to start 8 in the morning, 12-hour delay. If your washing machine doesn't have that, you can still get it all set up. And this is what I used to do before I noticed that there was a delay wash. Actually, my previous washing machine, this is what I did before we had the delay wash, is I would get it set up at night, and then as I walk by to go make my coffee, I just press the on button and the start button. It's just that easy. It's just creating habits that are easy for you, that are in alignment with who you are, and are designed to work with your energy and your habits and your routine, right? So if my washer and dryer, actually I could hear the washing machine out there, are literally outside my bedroom door, which is outside of the bathroom. So this works for me. If I had to go out to do laundry, or if it was in a basement, I probably would have different habits or a different pattern, a different way of doing things, because it wouldn't be as easy and convenient, right? So just be patient with yourself, experiment, pretend that you're explorer, adventurer, and I will be sharing more tips and techniques from my life and from my clients' lives on subsequent Thursdays. Have a great day.